Okay, so here are the problems that we're gonna do, some examples. If you wanna pause this and write it down, go ahead. If you wanna just wait, cool, I don't know. All right, so let's say that we have A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 4. And let's say that our major axis is horizontal and that our center is 1, 0. So let's think about it. We have A is 5, B is 4, and we want to find C because that is the distance from the center to the focus. Okay, so we have A squared minus B squared. That gets me that C squared is equal to 9. We would have to square root that and get that C equals 3. All right, if the major axis is horizontal, that's left and right, that means I'm going to be adding and subtracting to the x value. So I'm going to say that 1 minus 3 is -2, 0, and then that'll be focus 1, and then 1 plus 3 will be 4, so that will be 4, 0, which is focus 2. Okay, for time's sake, if you would like to find the answer for example 2, then you look on Canvas. Okay, this one is a little harder, so I'd rather do this one. So we have A is 4, B is 3, center is at 6, -3, and we're gonna say that this one, its major axis is vertical. So if we're doing vertical, that means we're gonna be adding and subtracting to the y value. So I'm going to do C squared is equal to 16 minus 9, which is 7, right? Yes. Take the square root. That wasn't that hard. I don't know what happened. All right, so I get C equals square root of 7. Okay. So that means that my x value stays the same for my first focus, and my y value we subtract. So I'm just going to say -3 minus root 7. There's no way to simplify that. Focus 2, 6, and then -3 plus root 7. Okay? If you would like the answer to example 2, you can look on Canvas. Okay. Eccentricity is the ovalness of the ellipse, and to figure that out, we just do C divided by A. When we make that division, when we do C divided by A, if that number is closer to 0, it is more circular. If it's closer to 1, it's more elongated. Okay, so let's put it all together, folks. Okay, so we need to complete the square so we can get to a formula that looks like the equation of an ellipse. Okay, so this first step, I have rearranged to have the x's together and the y's together, and I moved the 8 to the other side. And now I leave little blanks because I'm going to complete the square. So if I do -4, if I do -4 divided by 2, I get -2 and then negative 2 squared is 4. If I do 8 divided by 2, I get x plus 4, oh, I'm sorry, y plus 4. 4 squared is 16. Okay, now remember, we can't just do that. Actually, ooh, I missed something important. We'll talk about that in a second. So, divide by 2. And we get negative 2. So that means x minus 2 squared. Then I take negative 2 and square it, and I get 4. Now, I can do whatever I want to an equation, but if I do it to the left side, then we have to go to the right. Now, the reason I stopped a second ago is that these two have a 4 in common. So I'm going to take out that 4. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. If I take out that 4, then I would be left with y squared plus 2y. So now that's what I'm going to use. Oh, I did not leave enough room. Okay, so now I need to do 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So that's going to be y plus 1. And then square that. And then 1 squared is 1. Okay, the only thing is we've got that 4 times 1, so it's going to be plus 4 over here. Okay, so next we've got to simplify this right side. So 8 plus 4 plus 4 gives me 16. Lovely. But remember, this number over here has to equal 1. So I'm going to divide everything by 16. Now we're starting to get those fractions. So I've got x minus 2 squared over 16. And then I've got, this simplifies to, that's why we want to take it out in the beginning. This simplifies to 1/4. So y, oops, sorry. Y plus 1 squared over 4 equals 1. Okay, so we get that A is 4 and B is 2. So 4 and 2. So that means that this is horizontal. So let's put what we have down so far. I have that my center is going to be at 2, -1. Okay, so 2, -1, there's my center. All right, let's look at our vertices. So it's horizontal, so I look at that. A is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's mark that down. Okay. And then B is 2, so then I have 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so there's our cute little ellipse. Look how cute it is. Boom. So now we need our foci. And we need C and E. So to find C, I get a squared minus b squared is equal to 12. Take the square root, that gives me 2 root 3. And then the ovalness, we take C divided by A. So I've got 2 root 3 divided by 4. We can simplify 2/4 into 1/2 or just root 3 over 2. You're like, okay, that doesn't tell me anything. When we put that in the calculator, we get a rough estimate of 0.866. So it's pretty close to 1, so it's pretty elongated. All right, we already put down our vertices, so let's put those down on here. So 6, -1, and -2, -1. Co-vertices, we've got 2, 1, and 2, -3. All right, those foci. So remember, that is where we take our C and add it to our A, our X value, because it's horizontal. So our foci. I'm going to use C and add it to the X value. So focus 1. I have, 2 plus 2 root 3. The y does not change because it's a horizontal ellipse. Focus 2 gives me 2 minus 2 root 3, -1. Okay, so let's try to get that on there. So we know that you can put that in the calculator. Oh, excuse me. You can put that in the calculator, honestly, and you'll get something around here and here. Okay? Fun times, I know. All right, let's do example 5. Oh, I should have written those here. Please forgive me. All right. Let's rewrite this. So first step, rewrite. So we go 36x squared minus 144x. Okay, then we've got plus 25y squared minus 50y plus something, and then equals 731. All right. Now, let's take out what these things have in common. So they both have a 36. I'm left with x squared minus 4x plus something silly. Okay, so now we do that b term divided by 2, which gives me -2. That 36 comes down. -2 squared is 4. Now, that's what we have to add to the other side. So we have to do 36 times 4, which is 144. All right, let's look at the next one. These both have 25 in common, so let's bring that out. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Negative 2 divided by 2 gives me negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. Okay, but that is 25 times 1 that we're really adding, so plus 25. So 731, 144 plus 25 gives me 900. Well, it has to equal 1, so we have to divide everything by 900. All right, and then let's simplify that. That would be x minus 2 squared over 25 plus y minus 1 squared over 36. Okay, that bigger term is with the y's, so that means that it is a vertical. So 36 is bigger than 25, so that means that it is going to be longer this way, so it's going to be vertical. Okay, so A is 6 because it's always the bigger one. B is 5. C is 36 minus 25, sorry, C squared. So C ends up being the square root of 11. What a beautiful number. Then we have a square root of 11 over 6 for E, which is roughly 0.553. I love that number. That is so beautiful. All right, our center is going to be negative 2, 1. Okay, and our vertices are going to be 2, 7, and 2, negative 5. Co-vertices are going to be 7, 1, and negative 3, 1. Foci, we have to add the square root of 11 to the y value because it's vertical. 2, 1 plus root 11, and 2, 1 minus root 11. All right, let's graph all that. Okay, center is 2, 1. Lovely. A is 6. So it goes up to 7. All right, and then it goes down to negative 5. Okay. And then we have the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Oh, I am so sorry for that. Let's just beep. Okay, now you're not gonna do it. No. Okay. Okay. Let's try that again. A little better. Okay. Let's write the standard form of the equation of the ellipse below. Okay. So the center is at 0, 0, focus at 0, 3, vertex at 5. Okay, so if you see that all of our changes are happening to the y value, that means that the major axis is vertical. All right. So let's find C. So C is A squared minus B squared. Oh, C squared, sorry. Okay, so if you look, the focus is at 0, 3, which means that I added 3 to go up to my focus. So that means that C is equal to 3. So we've got C is 3, which 3 squared is 9. Okay, and if you look at the vertex, that is plus 5. So that means A is 5. Cool, cool. So I've got A squared, which is 25. And we can use that to solve. Move things around, divide by -1, and you get B squared is equal to 16. And we don't have to simplify it more than that because that's what we need for our equation. We have x squared over b squared, which is 16, plus y squared over 25 is equal to 1. Foci at plus or minus 2. So that lets me know that this is vertical because I'm adding and subtracting here. So vertical. And that lets me know that C is 2. So when I have C squared is 4. Okay. The length of the minor axis is 8. So if the whole length is 8, if I know that the whole length is 8, and I know the center is here, that means it's 4 and 4. So that means B is 4. So you just divide by 2, right? So if B is 4, so C squared equals A squared minus B squared. So we can find A. So add 16 to the other side, I get 20. Square root A is equal to, once we simplify it, oh, we don't have to, I'm being silly. We should stop there because A squared is part of the equation. So since this says plus or minus 2, that lets me know that the middle was 0. Okay, so, or the center was 0. So that means nothing is added or subtracted to our x or our y. A is 16, I'm sorry, B squared is 16 plus 20 equals 1. Okay. All right, if you want C, check Canvas, because I'm going to go straight on to D. All right, foci are 2, 5, and -2, 5, which means that you're moving along the x-axis. So that means that your major axis is horizontal. Okay? And if it's going left 2 and right 2, that means that it's at 0. So that means, oh my God. So that means that our center point is at 0, 5. Okay, and then remember that means that C is equal to 2 because I'm going to the left, to the right. So C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. So how do I find one of those? So one of the vertices is at -3, 5. So this is the number that changes. So A has to be 3. All right, solve everything around. B squared is 5. All right, so our center point is 0, 5. So 0 for the x. And we go right 5, so that's -5. All over 5 equals 1. Okay, I hope that helps. And I can scroll down real quick to the other problems if you want. And you can pause and get the answers. Pause, get the answer. Let's see. Okay, you can pause here if you want some extra drawings or need another way of visualizing it. But that should be it. Do your homework and be nice, don't do drugs, wear a seatbelt.